Hi guys, welcome to I can't say movie reviews with Fee, but Netflix documentaries with Fee. And today I'm going to discuss two catfish related Netflix documentaries. So the first one I saw, which totally blew my mind, was The Unknown Number, the high school catfish. So this is the story of these pretty young teenagers. I think it was their freshman year. They started like dating, and the girl's name is Lauren, and the guy's name is Owen. And Lauren starts to receive these really bizarre tweets. So there's this Halloween party at this girl's house. I think her name was Kira or something, but um, and Owen was invited, but Lauren was not. But Owen's like, "You're my girlfriend. You're going to go to the party." So she goes to the party. And then after that, she starts getting these text messages that are like, "Oh, you're ugly. Nobody wants you. Owen wants to be with me. You guys are going to break up." And they start to escalate from there. Um, so the mother of Lauren, who is Kendra, she, volunteers at the school, and she's, kind of a hands-on mother. Not really like a helicopter mother, but she's very involved in the school. So she and her husband, they're very concerned about these text messages. Now, this is going to contain spoilers, FYI. And the texts start to get more and more bizarre, more angry, more vulgar, and then they start to get downright dangerous, where um, the texter is not only texting Lauren, she's also texting Owen. And then, like, Lauren and Owen break up because of all of this, and he starts dating another girl in another town, and that girl starts to get text messages as well. So you're probably thinking, okay, block the number, yada, yada, yada. Well, the texter is using some type of app which randomly generates numbers, so it masks, the real number of the texter. So a few things as we were watching this, we were just like, initially it was like, why not just block the texter? And then my nephew's like, why not just stop responding? Like, and I thought, well, yeah, they could do that. But my thought was, why not just take the phone away? Like, they were young kids. It was a small town. The mother was always at the school. Like, if someone's harassing your child through this technology, and anything you try to do, you try to block the number, they call from a different number. Yeah. Why not just say, you know what, we're going to be done with these phones? But they're like, oh, our kids deserve the right to have a phone, which is true, but this is an unusual circumstance. And I just think that if you don't feed the beast dies. But this ain't an ordinary situation. Because why would they make a Netflix documentary if it was? Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Turn it off if you don't want to know what I'm about to say next. It was her mama. Kendra was texting her daughter. And so, like, Owen's mom and Kendra's mom, the whole family, especially when they started dating, they started doing things together, hanging out together. And so this lady was perpetrating a fraud with everybody. Her husband was livid. He was just like, I can't believe a mother would do this. And, then afterwards they interview her, and she's still on some Delulu crap, talking about, oh, the first messages weren't me, but then I started taking over. Well, who are they? They had to get the FBI involved, and that's the FBI was able to get some search warrants from app, um, the app company, and then from the phone company, and you know just I don't it's not triangulation, whatever they do with the records, they were able to figure out, oh, every time a message comes in, it's coming from this number. Had everybody check their contacts, and it turns out to be Kendra, which was the mom. And so Owen's mom was just like, she was kind of infatuated with her son, and I'm just like, what kind of craziness is this? But that was the first documentary. So then, once you watch something on a streaming platform, social media, the algorithms gets to algorithming, and Sweet Bobby, my catfish nightmare, pops up as a suggestion. So we're just like, why not? This is across the pond in England with what's her name? Kirat Asi, and she's a part of the what's the name? Shik, I think it's Shik community. Um, and she says that it's a very small community in their town. Everybody knows each other. Everybody of the ethnicity, religion. Slash, actually, Shik, I think, is a religion. Um, and she was older than her other friends. All of her friends were getting married, and there's a lot of pressure for the women to get married. So she was in a long term relationship that ended ugly, and she meets this guy, Bobby Jandu, and Bobby's air quotes because I think they changed his name. And she meets him online. She says she knew of him because she's like a radio host, commentator, and she's seen him from afar. But as we get into the documentary, you realize that the entire relationship happens online on Facebook. So she starts to get this information, about Bobby from her cousin. So her cousin is somebody she confides in and also who knows Bobby and Bobby's cousin. So she gets like this friend request from Bobby, and Bobby and Kiat start this kind of virtual relationship. And then it kind of gets Tinder swindler ish with like these really bizarre, far fetched stories. So she gets a message that Bobby's been shot. Um, Bobby is in the hospital. Bobby has to go on witness protection. So it's all these really extraordinary stories as to why she can't meet Bobby. And then somehow in witness protection, he's granted Facebook access, which I'm like, of all the apps, that's probably one of the most insecure or unsecured apps. Like people hack Facebook all the time, and so the message is saying that the government approves so many people he can actually contact, and she was one of them. And this goes on for years, like 8 or 9 years. So Bobby's in town, but he don't want to see Kiat. And she's told her parents about him. They've had text conversations with him, Skype conversations with him. She's going to bed at night talking to Bobby, you know, and he proposes. He's sending her gifts. Um, so she thinks like he's the real deal. Even though her mom and people are like, this is weird. You've never met this guy. Why are you so intense? But she's just, Bobby is my man, my man, my man. And, it's not funny because I'm like, there was something wrong internally with her because okay, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. It was her cousin the whole time. She was pretending to be Bobby. How she finds out, she hires a private investigator to get her Bobby's real address. And when she gets his address, she shows up at his door, banging on his door. Why are you doing this to me? And he's like, I don't know who you are. The wife, she's like, I know your wife. And she's giving all these details. She's showing pictures of them. You send me this picture. And so he sends his wife away because now the wife is like, well, what's really going on, Bobby? And so Bobby's like caught between a rock and a hard place because he really doesn't know who this woman is. It is the mutual friend cousin who has been pretending to be Bobby the entire time. So Kiat goes to the police. They're just like, you're not a victim. The victim is Bobby and his wife. And she's just like stressed and all of this. So I was just thinking, I don't want to say someone's dumb because love is like a sickness for some people and it can cloud their judgment. But there were some points along the way she could have like mitigated her losses. So the fact that you couldn't see him like ever, that he was married and then divorced, and then he's like, oh, I when I say he, it's really she because it's Simran doing all this. He's got a baby mama, and now he's sending her pictures of the baby, and she's like devastated, but she doesn't want to lose him because now she feels like she's up in age, and if there's any small chance for her to work it out with Bobby, she's going to take that chance. So it just keeps going on and on and on, and for so many years, and it's kind of sad all the way around. But one of the points I was making when discussing this with my nephew is that desperation, and we agreed on this, desperation will make you accept and excuse the unexcusable and the unacceptable. Because had she not had this huge pressure about being married and her age and these limitations, I don't think she would have like just held on to this tragic hope, this we fell in love in a hopeless place. Well, she really fell in love with herself because Bobby wasn't even in on it. But yeah, and then like ignoring common sense things, like he comes to town finally after years and years and years, and he's like, I'm not ready to see you. Like, what? Like she did do the right thing with finding his address and going there because she needed to have closure. But it's just so many times she could have just ended this thing. But you don't get a Netflix documentary for being logical and being of sound mind. You gotta be a little cray cray. So, what do you think about both these documentaries? I say the most disturbing is the high school catfish because these were young kids and the mom was the person perpetrating. Like, there was a text message telling the daughter to on live herself. And I'm just like, what? What? Like that? All of it's nuts, but that is just beyond. Um, and she went to jail and all this other stuff, and but the daughter loves her mom still, and that's what the kid is gonna love their mom. I don't care. That's just nature. Um, but I know there's this thing, and I discussed this also with my nephew. There's this real life thing of parents being jealous of, or specifically some mothers being jealous of their daughters because their daughters have more advantages or opportunities in life than they had, or choices. And then this, you know, instance, like the daughter's young, the daughter's beautiful, she's dating the high school jock, she is popular, she's good at sports. So I don't it the mother, seems like she wanted to relive her high school days, but her daughter was outshining her. And this is just me and my whole, you know, pop psychology. But yeah, it's like the ultimate betrayal because your mom is supposed to be the person who protects you the most, and that's the person who's actually causing harm. So have you watched Unknown Number, The High School Catfish, or Sweet Bobby, My Catfish Nightmare? And what did you think? Like, where did they go wrong?